scouted the best technology institutes all over the country and found 24 products, 24 cutting-edge innovations which have the potential of making social change. Hello and welcome to DuPont Presents Power of Shunya, the challenge for zero. This is the show where we are trying to make a change, bit by bit. We have 24 of such products, 24 young innovators who are going to be joining us across this series, each of them partnered by one business school student. Well, with every great product needs to know how to get to people. What are they fighting for? Well, the product that wins in the end, the innovation, the team that wins in the end gets a big cash prize, 10 lakh rupees. But what's most important for them, and this is money can't buy, they get a paid experience at the DuPont headquarters in the United States. So while we have 3 of these teams who are going to come and battle today, got to dazzle you with the products, with the innovations that they will be presenting. And not just you, there's a jury here. Oh, they're tough as nails, and they're the ones that they have to impress today. So we're looking for one winner out of these 3 at the end to go through to the next round. What are we waiting for? Let's meet our jury. Our first jury member is Dr. Harish Hande, who's the MD of Selco India. Harish, how are you?
Good, very good.
Also joining us on our jury is Vani Kola, Managing Director of Kalari Capital. Vani, how are you?
Very well, Gaurav.
Our third jury member is Dr. Harish Hande, who's the MD of Selco India. Harish, how are you?
Good, very good.
Also joining us on our jury is Vani Kola, Managing Director of Kalari Capital. Vani, how are you?
Very well, Gaurav.
Our third jury member is Homi Bhadwar, Technology Director of South Asia and ASEAN from DuPont. Homi, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. Thank you.
Well, we'd like to welcome our jury with a warm round of applause to the show today. They are ready to go. Our 3 teams are ready to go. What are we waiting for? Let's call the first of our teams. Before they come on, let's have a quick look at what their innovation is, the product they will be presenting today. Have a look.
A dream to harness India's vast renewable resources to help farmers inspired Sandeep Vedanti to develop Green Power, a novel standalone one-phase AC generator that converts all forms of renewable energy into electricity for rural areas.
Presenting their project Green Power, please welcome Sandeep Vedanti and Pradeep Marfatia. Okay, gentlemen, this is how it will work. We will first have the presentation about the product. So the technology student, the science of it will be explained in that presentation, after which we will move on to the business school student who will then tell us the marketing plan. So, gentlemen, you ready?
Yes.
Yes? All yours for the technology. Go.
My innovation is novel standalone single-phase AC generator for rural electrification using renewable energy. The rating of the generator is 5 kW, 230 volts, 50 Hz. It's a standalone 2-winding self-regulated induction generator. It has the special design of asymmetrical windings in the stator and with a squirrel cage rotor. The generator generates the electricity and to energize the local loads in the rural or remote places where the scope of renewable energy sources are available like wind, microhydro and bioenergy. And supplying such a reliable power for the rural people, it will have a strong impact on mankind and improve their quality of life.
Thank you so much, Sandeep. We've got Professor Bhim Singh here with us. Professor, if you could just tell us, the USP of this product and how you think this generator is different.
This generator have many advantages as low cost, smaller size and robust construction, which increases the life of the total system life. And we think that it will go for a long way.
Thank you very much, Professor Bhim Singh. Well, that was the innovation and the science part of the presentation. Now it's up to Prateek, who will tell us how he intends to take this product to the market, the business plan. Prateek, if you're ready, all yours.
Absolutely. So first of all, we segment the market based on the geography. So we segment it in India by the states. So we divide the states into urban and rural and remote areas. And we also divide it based on the electricity deficits, the high deficit states and the low deficit states. We then see the potential they have in terms of the renewable energy. And this is the segmentation by state. We also segment it based on the behavioral patterns in terms of the household use and the agricultural use. And then we finally target the segments which have the states which have a high deficit in terms of electricity and high renewable energy potential. Coming to the distribution strategy, we will be following a highly devolved and collaborative model. We have a village liaison office wherein their key responsibility would be to handle the specific installation, operation and maintenance within the particular village. And they would be also involved with tariff collection, which we'll have various models based on the villages. We'll have community-based models for tariffs. We'll be recruiting the locals themselves in a highly devolved model so that we can train them, give them jobs and make them ambassadors for our own product by making them word-of-mouth agents as well as people who can get more people to use our product.
Well, so that's the presentation of Team 1. They call it Green Power. Now, will it make other competitors go green with envy? Did their presentation have power? It's up to our judges to decide. Judges, any questions for our team?
You are using existing energy sources, and also those will not allow you to give continuous power to whoever you are supplying this to. So it's intermittent based on hydro or wind availability. So how is this really practical?
We have this potential, we have this renewable energy potential in so many places. Like if you see the micro hydro potential in northeast states and Uttarakhand, Himachal and North Karnataka, and wind also in Andhra, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, and for bio also Andhra, Karna, Gujarat, Chhattisgarh. We have so much of potential of renewable energy. So with this renewable energy sources, we can generate the electricity without emissions.
But see, these are different technologies. Biomass, picohydro and small wind are very different technologies. So I would seriously advise you just focus on one, because one itself is a challenge. You said Karnataka has wind, but small wind is a different challenge than large wind. So you're only talking of 5 kilowatts, and so challenges itself is very huge. Just focus on one stream.
This has been looked at before. Why do you think people haven't come up with this kind of
This
model?
product we consider to be a versatile product. It can handle 3 different renewable energy sources, and we'll be targeting specific villages based on the potential that they have. So as far as Karnataka is concerned, we'll be starting off with only 15 villages, and we'll be targeting each of them based on the potential that they have. And this is one product which can be used in all the locations based on the best fit available in terms of the renewable power. So that's one advantage that this product has over others, which may probably be not as versatile as this one.
Thank you so much, Prateek. Thank you so much, Sandeep. Good presentation. All the best. You can leave now. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Well, the first of our 3 teams that's going to be competing today. What do teams 2 and 3 have in store for us? We're going to see after a short break. Stay tuned to DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya, the challenge for zero. We'll be right back.
वही ब्राह्मण में डर हो गई जो ऐसा करते तारी शादी मार को दे ड्राइवर से खतरे के काम बाटे बोली ले ले हे भगवान हमारा आदमी तो सही सलामत लेकर अब चले।
हम 20 साल से ट्रक ड्राइवर के काम कर रहे हैं, लेकिन इंडिया के अंदर में ड्राइवरी में रोड है, गड्ढा है और ज्यादा एक्सीडेंट होता है। अगर थोड़ा मिस्टेक करते हैं तो गाड़ी मतलब पलटी होने के चांस रहता है।
ट्रक का इम्पोर्टेंट बहुत है, इसलिए 70% माल की ढुलाई या ट्रक से होती है और हम बिल्कुल चाहते हैं कि ट्रक ड्राइवरों के लिए हमारी ट्रक सेफ्टी हो। ट्रक ड्राइवर को इंडिया में आज के दिन में बहुत सारी परेशानियां उठाने पड़ती। ट्रकों के द्वारा लगभग 20,000 दुर्घटनाएं एक साल में होती है। फेस 2 ड्राइवर को करना पड़ता है।
We have new trucks which we call the Prima range. One of the areas that we really had to work on was the axle. We needed a very strong axle which could withstand high temperatures and high usage.
DuPont has a long history of collaborating with Tata Motors for the development of components. If the rear hub seal leaks, it can cause to the early failure or stopping of the vehicle on the road. DuPont suggested whiten elastomers for this application, which can be worked at a very high temperature, which will make the trucks more safer for the drivers.
हमको ये जब से प्राइमा गाड़ी निकला है, ये गाड़ी पर हमने अपने आप से भी ज्यादा भरोसा है कि जो हमको रास्ते में कभी धोखा नहीं दी। बीवी और बच्चे को ये चीज है कि ये गाड़ी भरोसेमंद है, एक गाड़ी चलाने से वो लोग के चिंता कम रहता है।
Welcome back to DuPont Presents Power of Shunya, the challenge for zero. We have three teams that are competing today, three innovations that are being showcased. Our first team presented green power before the break. It's now time for Team 2. Let's have a look at their innovation first.
Making Indian buildings more accessible to the paraplegic is Shanu Sharma's Vardhan. This stair climbing wheelchair is her attempt to bypass the lack of ramps in Indian buildings, a decades-old problem born out of apathy towards the disabled.
Please welcome Vignesh Shivakumar and Shanu Sharma presenting Vardhan. So Shanu, if you're ready, the jury, the floor is all yours.
India has more than 11 million people who use wheelchairs, and there is no other way for them to access those environments. Then I realized the problems are architectural barriers. So this was Vardhan. This is Vardhan, that is a stair climbing manual wheelchair that can climb staircase, and at the same time it can be used on normal surfaces. So the good point about this one is there are many concepts of bringing change by changing the environment, saying design for barrier-free environment, but we cannot change it. It's better to design a product that can bring change in existing environment. And Vardhan is not just a product, it's a philosophy to bring inclusion in a better way.
Thank you very much. We also have Dr. Ram Kumar from IIT Kanpur, who's going to tell us a little more about this innovation. Dr. Kumar, could you tell us what's the greatness of this according to you?
We have just started with a prototype. We are improvising the mechanism. Basically, if you talk from engineering or science point of view, the center of gravity has to be maintained. So that we are currently working on it. And the other thing what I was thinking is if there could be some agency or if government could take an initiative in converting this prototype into a commercially viable product. See, in academic institutes, the limitation stops with making a prototype. That is a proof of concept. More than that, the academicians cannot do it, so it should be somebody, an NGO or a government should take an initiative in taking it further.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kumar. Vignesh, if you're ready, your business presentation now.
There are like 1.5 million people who suffer from a specific disease called as paraplegic SCI. SCI is spinal cord injury. 80% of the people are somehow males. 84% of the people fall in this age category of 16 to 40. So this two combinations somehow provide us, the exact target for our products. All the wheelchairs are currently sold in the market are sold through, say, the wholesalers who dominate the market. So these are people who actually import, say, the components from China usually, and then they just assemble it and push it on to the customer. The problem with this is that none of these wheelchairs are customized. So the very important part about wheelchairs I got to understand is that it should be customized to the user. And only then it can work the way it should work. Otherwise, it might actually end up causing him more problems. Actually, if you use a wheelchair that is not aligned to your dimensions, that might cause your shoulder blades to move out of place, which might cause, because you're using this product day in and day out. So you want it to be perfectly suited to you. This is also where our distribution strategy comes in. We don't want to go through the routine route of, say, a wholesaler or anything. We want to go through the doctors, through the institutions which are actually prescribing wheelchairs to these the target group. From the supply side, the interesting thing about our product is that we have designed it in such a way that all the raw materials are available readily in like standard format. None of them have to be specifically manufactured except for the stair climbing wheel, which is the whole the essence of our innovation. So except for that, everything else is standard. This allows us to manufacture it at possibly the least cost, because we don't have any as such manufacturing process involved except for assembling.
Thank you very much. Second team of Vignesh and Shanu. Give them a round of applause. No gifts coming from the jury though. We have questions. All yours.
Can this negotiate different heights of steps, or does it have to be within a certain range?
This wheelchair, the wheel is designed in such a way that it can climb most of the staircase, or I think almost every staircase in public building. So, but in case of places like houses where the standards are not followed, in that case it is really difficult.
So, what's the design philosophy with which you design this? Is there a story behind the design? It's, something different, right? So what's the design philosophy behind this?
I have two answers for that. The design philosophy is bringing change within the existing barriers. Staircases are the barriers, so we have to design something for barriers. And the way I approached this problem was something related to my childhood activities, in which I was climbing staircase on steps just by sitting on it and just taking my hands up and then climbing out and sliding myself downward. I realized that is the safest way of climbing staircase. And childhood activities, in which I was climbing staircase on steps just by sitting on it and just taking my hands up and then climbing out and sliding myself downward. I realized that is the safest way of climbing staircase, and from that this idea came into action. Yes, the way children do.
How many stairs can somebody climb at a time?
See, on an average, when we are climbing staircases are designed in such a way that every 10 steps there will be a landing. So from this we have tried, on a continuous go you can climb up till 24, 25. So it is not that much. We are making it efficient day by day.
Vignesh and Shanu, good job done, good presentation. Thank you so much. Well, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, the third and final team, the third and final product on the other side. Stay with us.
मैं जन्म से किसान हूँ। मैंने अब से 4 साल पहले बोरल की वजह से गन्ना बोना अपने खेत में बंद कर दिया। वो बिल्कुल उखड़ गया।
इस समस्या का हल ढूंढने की कोशिश कर रहे थे। हमने कई किसानों से मुलाकात की और कोराजन उसकी हमने टेस्टिंग शुरू करी।
और उसमें जब पैदावार अच्छी होगी तो उसमें मुझे इनकम भी अच्छी होगी।
Welcome back to DuPont Presents Power of Shunya, the challenge for zero. 3 teams competing today with 3 innovative products. We've seen 2. It's now time to see the third. Let's have a look.
Sukanya Raghu's innovation, in vitro ginger plantlets, aims to eliminate the incidence of pests in ginger crops across India. It also intends to increase India's ginger output per acre, which lags considerably behind the world.
Please welcome Abbas Sura and Sukanya Raghu. So Sukanya, if you're ready, you can start your presentation now.
Plant tissue culture is a technique where you use a small part of the plant and produce large number of plantlets out of it. There are basically two pathways that the explants take. Explants, I mean, are the pieces of the plant which we take for culturing. These two pathways are, one is the direct organogenesis and the second one is the indirect regeneration. Indirect regeneration is mediated by a stage called callus. This callus is an undifferentiated mass of cells which is formed by the differentiation of the already existing cells in the tissue. These cells in the callus, each cell has the potency to give rise to a whole new plant with the same genetic setup as its mother plant. And there is an advantage of the callus mediated production over the direct organogenesis. It's just that the cells multiply and then give rise to plants. But in direct organogenesis, the cells itself give rise to plants. So obviously the callus mediated regeneration would give rise to a large number of plants. That's what we are looking at here. We use the low cost protocol. By low cost we mean that we've used as less as possible plant growth regulators and as less as the concentration as possible. This can take over the traditional way of cultivation of ginger. This product of ours, that is the in vitro ginger plantlets, can add to the supply chain to reach to the farmers to produce the same amount of ginger in a better quality.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Sukanya. We also will hear from her mentor, Professor Pushpa Agarwal, who's going to tell us a little more about this innovation. Professor, could you tell us the novelty of this innovation?
Okay, that normal techniques, usually people take the rhizome and put it to grow the plant. Same thing it will be done in the ultimate way, but they are not tissue culture plants. So they will not be disease-free plants. They may catch the disease and all. And since the protocol is established in the lab, from the lab it has been brought to the greenhouse. From there it goes to nursery where they develop the rhizome and for further growth. So the biggest advantage is the disease-free seedlings, they get it.
Thank you very much, Professor Agarwal. And that leads us to the second half of the presentation, which is Abbas, who's going to tell us about the business plan. So, Abbas from ISV Mohali, the stage is all yours.
Thanks. So, our focus was mainly small to mid-scale farmers who comprise around 80% of the market. And we wanted to serve as a link between these small farmers and the retail segment. So, we cut off all the middlemen in the process. So basically the distribution is that we source the raw material, we collaborate with small farmers, small to medium scale farmers, we get the raw material from them. We then propagate that ginger in our tissue culture units. So we take any apartment which is 2,000 to 3,000 square feet, a farmhouse with an attached greenhouse, and we can start our cultivation over there. And then we give these plantlets to farmers on credit, buy it back from them, supply it to our clients, take the cut and distribute the remaining revenue back to the farmers.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Abbas. Well, up to our jury now. They usually have questions that can uproot trees. This is just a plantlet. Ovi, your question?
So, Sukanya, help me understand, how are you going to make sure that the yield of this through tissue culture is going to be better than anything else that the normal way of growing ginger?
As far as our plantlets are concerned, we haven't carried out any genetic experiments on them, but there is scope of doing so by transforming the plant to a high yielding variant.
For me as a farmer, I didn't fully understand it. Why is it a better plant?
The reason it is a better plant is because we can increase the productivity. So a farmer, if he uses the normal ginger cultivation methods, he can harvest one crop a year. With this, he can harvest 2 crops a year. In the normal cultivation methods, half of his crop is lost to diseases, Over here, we are promising them a disease-free plant. So that's our main value proposition.
Question to you is, have you involved in your research any time farmers as partners who actually come to you daily and see how the growth is?
We haven't involved any farmers as yet because we are still in a nascent stage of
Because the buy-in that you are asking and he's asking for the buy-in of small farmers, because I don't want to go into the debate of middlemen. Middlemen has a much more complicated issue than it is, because they not only look at ginger, banana, everything, and they're also financiers, which a lot of us do not have that capability. But coming back, because then you have better buy-in. If they are day in and day out with you from day one, it makes a difference.
Well, thank you so much, Abbas. Thank you so much, Sukanya. Good presentation. Thank you so much. So we're going to give our judges a moment. They've seen 3 presentations, 3 very innovative products. Now they have to mark out of 100 points in 5 different categories of where they think each team stood. At the end of which, they are going to declare one winner. They're marking them on 5 basic parameters: on disruptions, on relevance, on commercial viability, the science behind the idea, most importantly, that Shunya quotient. We're talking about social impact. Judges, hard work, all yours. So, well, our judges are done with their deliberation. Let's see who managed to impress them the most today.
The jury collectively, unanimously has selected Vardhan as the winner.
Well, I'm sure they're happy as well. Let's get our winners on stage from Vardhan, Shanu and Vignesh. Vani, if you could just do the honors, 2 tablet devices for each of you. Well, that's all we have time for on this episode of DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya, the Challenge for Zero. We're going to come back in our next episode with 3 more innovative products, 3 more innovations, and 3 more problems for our judges. We'll hope that you join us then. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
वही बड़ा मन में डर हो गई जो ऐसा तारी शादी में कह दे ड्राइवर से तेरे के काम बाटे बोली ले ले हे भगवान हमारा आदमी तो सही सलामत लेकर अब चले।
हम 20 साल से ट्रक ड्राइवर के काम कर रहे हैं, लेकिन इंडिया के अंदर में ड्राइवरी में रोड है, गड्ढा है और ज्यादा एक्सीडेंट होता है। अगर थोड़ा मिस्टेक करते हैं तो गाड़ी मतलब फॉल्टी होने के चांस रहता है।
ट्रक का इम्पोर्टेंट बहुत है, इसलिए 70% माल की ढुलाई या ट्रक से होती है और हम बिल्कुल चाहते हैं कि ट्रक ड्राइवरों के लिए हमारी ट्रक सेफ्टी हो। ट्रक ड्राइवर को इंडिया में आज के दिन में बहुत सारी परेशानियां उठाने पड़ती। ट्रकों के द्वारा लगभग 20,000 दुर्घटनाएं 1 साल में होती है। फेस टू ड्राइवर को करना पड़ता है।
We have new trucks, which we call the Prima range. One of the areas that we really had to work on was the axle. We needed a very strong axle, which could withstand high temperatures and high usage.
DuPont has a long history of collaborating with Tata Motors for the development of components. If the rear hub seal leaks, it can cause to the early failure or stopping of the vehicle on the road. DuPont suggested Whiten elastomers for this application, which can be worked at a very high temperature, which will make the trucks more safer for the drivers.
हमको ये जब से प्राइमा गाड़ी निकला है, ये गाड़ी पर हमने अपने आप से भी ज्यादा भरोसा है कि जो हमको रास्ता में कभी धोखा नहीं देगी। बीवी और बच्चे को ये चीज है कि ये गाड़ी भरोसेमंद है, एक गाड़ी चलाने से वो लोग के चिंता कम रहता है।